everyone, welcome to our first flameworking class. Flameworking is the technique that uses torch flame to melt rods and tubes for shaping. In this lesson, you will learn basic information about flameworking, such as type of materials, tools, and equipment we use in the flameworking studio. This is our flameworking studio. There are 10 working stations and then 5 annulers on the table. Those blue annulers are only for flameworking. Each station, there's a torch, a graphite pad, a tool rest, a water bucket, and a toolkit. Once you pick a station for working, make sure to sign in and out. The sign-up sheet is attached to the bulletin board of the studio. Don't forget to fill the station number you're using. The toolkit has a variety of tools for flameworking. There's a picture of the tools on the lid. Make sure that every item is in the kit. Inform the TA or technologist if there's anything missing. For flameworking, you should follow a proper dress code. Long hair should be pulled back, no synthetic fabric, no loose part, no short pants, no open-toe shoes, and no metal jewelry. Most importantly, you should wear a special type of safety glasses. There are 2 types of glasses in the toolkit. The blue one has a brighter shade, and the green one has a darker shade. It is very important to wear it whenever you look at the torch flame, since it produces UV and infrared ray that can damage your eyes. We use the blue one for a small and clear work, and the green one for large or color work. However, people have different sensitivity to light. Use the green one if you feel the flame looks too bright with the blue one. Let's light up the torch now. First, start up gas and oxygen. To learn how to start up the gas and oxygen for the main and the individual line, make sure to watch the 2 videos in Slate. This is a Carlisle CC burner. There are 4 knobs on the torch, 2 red ones and then 2 green ones. Red is for gas and green is for oxygen. The outer 2 knobs are for the outer fire, and the middle 2 knobs are for the center fire. Open the gas knob by turning it about a 1/4 turn. Reduce it a bit if you hear a hissing sound. Point the striker to the torch head and then click right in front of it. Then it will ignite yellow flame. Turn the gas knobs to make the flame about your hand length. Turn the green knob to add oxygen. Then the flame will turn blue. Add more until you don't see any yellow parts. This is a neutral flame for regular works. If you need a bigger flame, add more gas, then add more oxygen until it turns blue. When you shut off the flame, close the green knob first. You will see that the flame changed to yellow. Then close the red knob. The flame will be gone. Do not over-tighten the knobs. A gentle finger tight is enough. Here's a simple way to remember the sequence. For lighting, open natural gas first, then oxygen. For unlighting, close oxygen first, then natural gas. When you put the first letters together, it becomes noon. Many other studios use propane gas instead of natural gas. In that case, it becomes poop which is more widely used as an acronym. Whether noon or poop, just remember that the two O's are in the middle. Lighting the center fire is the same as the outer fire. Only difference is to use the middle knobs. Open the middle red knobs a quarter turn and then ignite flame. Adjust the flame about a hand length. Add oxygen by turning the middle green knobs until the flame turns blue. This is the ideal flame for a small or detailed work. When you're done, once again, close the green knob first, then close the red knob. While working, if you need to leave the station for a short period of time, like picking up some glass from the recycle drawer, you don't have to shut off everything. Just close oxygen and reduce natural gas to leave a short yellow flame. When you have to leave the room temporarily, like going to the bathroom, you have to close oxygen and gas to shut off the flame. When you're done working for a day, proceed the whole shut-off procedure for your station. Close all the knobs, close the valves under the table, bleed the hoses, release the T-knobs of the regulator. Refer to the Startup Shut-off Procedure station video if necessary. Now we learn two types of flame: gas flame, the yellow flame from natural gas only, and the neutral flame, blue flame from the oxygen added. If you add more oxygen to neutral flame, the flame becomes shorter and brighter. The inner cones gets pointier. It is called oxidizing flame. The oxidizing flame is useful for small joints and a certain color application. If you slowly reduce the amount of the oxygen from the oxidizing flame, it will turn to neutral flame, then to reducing flame. The reducing flame is partly yellow, long and wavy. It is useful for preheating and annealing since it is cooler than neutral flame. For the first year's lesson, we will mostly work with the neutral flame. Here's the summary. Compared to neutral flame, oxidizing flame has more oxygen. Reducing flame has more natural gas. In the glass studio, we are using many different types of glass. Soda lime glass for cold working, blowing, and casting. Borosilicate glass for flame working. Borosilicate glass is a type of glass with silica and boron trioxide as the main ingredient. It is resistant to thermal shock and then chemical corrosions, so often used for laboratory glass apparatus. We call soda lime glass as soft glass, and then borosilicate glass as hard glass. Since soft glass and hard glass has many different characters, they are not comparable, which means you cannot melt them together as one piece. So it is very important to keep them separate. Do not bring hot shop glass to the flameworking studio unless you get a permission from the instructor. One of the big differences between soft glass and hard glass is COE. COE stands for Coefficient of Thermal Expansion. It is a measure of the expansion or contraction of a material as a result of changes in temperature. Let me explain with the glass particles. Particles are vibrating all the time. When it is cold, they are sort of packed together with a small movement. When it is hot, they contain more energy, vibrate harder, and then take more space. In result, glass expands when it heats up and then contracts when it cools down. Although the amount is too tiny to be seen with the naked eye, it is very important changes in glass making. The COE is a measurement of the changes in lengths. Different materials have different COE. The COE of our hot shop glass is 100. Hard glass also moves the same way, expands when it heats up, contracts when it cools down. However, the amount is quite smaller. The COE of our flame shop glass is 33. The large number of COE means the material will expand and contract a lot by temperature. The small number of COE means the material will change less by temperature. What would happen if we grab soft glass from the hot shop and then hard glass from the flame shop and melt them together? They'll look fine when they're hot. But when they cool down, soft glass will contract much more than hard glass. The stress between two will increase, and then eventually they will crack. Let's do the real test. This is one of the simple compatibility tests. Let's say I have two rods with me. The clear one, I already know it is borosilicate glass. The blue one is a mysterious glass. I want to know whether it will be compatible with my clear rod. The method is similar to the animation. Attach two rods side by side, about an inch long. Melt them thoroughly to be one piece. Stretch to make it around 2 mm thick. Cool it down and observe any stress. Let's start. First, make neutral flame for melting. Hold the two rods at the far end of the flame. Stay there for a while for warming up the rods. This process is called preheating. The preheating is an important step in flameworking since glass is sensitive to sudden changes in temperature. It will crack if you put it into the flame right away. Once the rods are warm enough, bring them slowly to the middle of the flame. Cover one side of the clear with the softened blue, just a half of it. For the best result, the amount of the two glass should be equal. Make the test piece about an inch long, straight half and half. Once you apply the right amount, attach a handle on the tip of the piece for heating. Then turn the piece in the flame for even heating. Try not to twist or pull it during the process. Try to keep the bar shape as much as possible. Once the piece is evenly soft, take the piece out of the flame, pull, and hold it straight until it gets hardened. Bring it back to the flame to cut in the middle and see the result. You see that it curves instantly even though I kept it straight until it got hardened. The curve happened because one side of the piece contracted more than the other side while cooling, which means they're not the same type of glass. They're incompatible. You can also see some parts sparkly due to the tiny fractures. The entire piece will eventually fall apart. This is what happens when you mix soft and hard glass together, and this is why sorting is extremely important. Always label your glass and test any unknown glass before applying onto your precious work. For the first year's lesson, the materials will be provided by the instructor at the beginning of each class. If you need extra, you can pick some shorts from the recycle drawer near the bulletin board. Please keep the leftovers in your storage area until you are surely done using them. There are a couple of ways of cutting a rod. The easiest way for a small diameter rod is to use cane cutter. The cutter is not included in the toolkit, but you can sign out from the office. The second way is to use a scoring knife. Just like we learned in code working, make a score line and give a pressure to a crack. Hold the rod between your thumb and the blade. Turn the rod slowly. Use a sharp edge of the blade to make a score about halfway around the circumference of the rod. Make the score deep and perpendicular to the rod's length. Hold the rod with both hands. Put two thumbs slightly away from the score line. Never put your thumbs on the score. Make the score facing front. With a firm grip, pull the rod apart and bend it at the same time. The method works well with rods under 8 mm in diameter. For rods over 8 mm, make the score all the way around. Sharp and dip. Again, never put your thumb right on the score line. That can cause some skin cut. And try to pull. You will find it hard this time. When normal pulling doesn't work very well, hit it right on the edge of the table while pulling the rod apart. The last one is to melt and cut. Hold the rod with two hands. Rotate the rod in the flame until it gets softened. Then pull the rods apart slowly. Stay in the flame until the tip rounded by the heat. Now let's practice joining. Grab two short rods of the same diameter. Preheat the rods at the tip of the flame. Keep rotating the rods and then wait until warming up. Preheating time can vary by the type of a glass, the range of a flame, and the thickness of a glass. For example, soft glass requires much longer preheating time than hard glass. 12 mm rod requires more preheating time than 6 mm rod. It is a hard thing for a beginner to know when it's ready. However, when you see glowing orange color on the edge of the rods without any cracks, it is ready for the next step. Slowly bring them into the flame. Never stop rotating. If you stop at some point, the spot facing the flame will get hotter than the opposite side. The heat will spread unevenly. When the edges are softened and glowing orange all the way around, it is ready for joining. Make sure to continue rotating and bring them together inside of the flame. To make a permanent joint, always join glass inside of the flame. Stay in the flame until the rods are completely merged together. Then take the piece out and then try to keep it straight until it gets hardened. It is easy to pull them apart by mistake. Try to keep the original thickness. You can also use the graphite pads to align too. Gently roll your piece on the flat graphite pad until it gets stiffened. Do not roll it on a metal surface, since metal can cool it down too fast. It can cause some thermal shock on your glass. Ideally, there should be no bump, no perpendicular line, no crack, no twist, and no ditch. The rod should be smooth and straight. Since the heat is invisible, people often forget the hot spot, grab the piece accidentally, and then get minor burns on the fingers. In order to avoid that, always check the temperature first by gently touching your piece before grabbing. Make it as a habit. In case of a minor burns, close all the knobs on your torch and inform TA, instructor, or monitor that you got a burn. Go to the sink in the engraving room right away. Open the tap water and then let cold water run on the burn for more than 5 minutes. To treat burns, you always have to cool them down first. This process may feel boring, and then you might want to go back to your precious work as soon as possible, but you should make sure that the heat under your skin is completely removed. Wash it clean and apply a burn gel or an antibiotic ointment if needed. Cover the burn with a bandage. Minor cuts can happen while scoring glass. Remove any debris in the cut and wash it with the soap. Cover it with a bandage. First aid kit is located in the engraving room. There's another one in the hallway between glass and furniture studio. If there's any major injury, like constant bleeding, severe pain, or blisters, report it immediately to TA, instructor, monitor, or technologist. When you're done working, do the shut-off procedure for your station. Close the knobs, close main bells, open the knobs to bleed, close them again, check the pressure gauge, and loosen the T-knobs. Refer to the startup shut-off procedure station video if necessary. Keep leftover glass in your storage. Put all the tools back in the toolkit. If any of them are still hot, dip the tip in the water bucket to cool down. Broom the surface of the table. Collect small debris in the water bucket. Bring it to the cold working room and gently pour water to the sink. Then dump the remaining debris in the gray garbage bin in the hallway. And lastly, sign out. Flameworking is my favorite technique since it gives me a feeling of a meditation. I hope you enjoy it too. This week's assignment is to practice the cutting and joining. Grab solid rods of the same diameter from the recycled drawer. Join two together as I did in the video. Show me at least 3 good joints by next week. This week, either TA, instructor, or monitor will assist you to turn on and off the gas line. Next week, you will be asked to demonstrate how to operate them to me. Check the instruction handout and then make sure to understand the procedure. Thanks for watching. See you next week.